Are you expecting anyone else, or should we go ahead and get started?
Rosanna, was anyone else confirming? I think that was the few that we talked about earlier, right?
I think I saw on the yes for that when I looked, Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Aquino had said yes, but I'm not sure if the other alternate is him or is that two of Becky. Two Beckys.
Yeah, I see two Beckys. Yeah.
A tale of two Beckys. That's okay. Well, you know what? Either way, you've got enough to start, and then if others pop on, we can add them to the list unless we've replaced them with an alternate. So.
I know that I saw an agenda, but I can't seem to find it in my inbox here. So I'm wondering whether you can share one.
Is Mike on to share the agenda?
I hope so.
There's Rohit. There we go.
There he goes.
I don't know what we would do without Mike.
Yep, exactly.
All right, we have Rohit too. I saw Rohit jump on right before we
there he is.
Shared screen.
Okay.
All right, and Justin, our recording secretary's on. Okay.
Okay. So let me know if we see Aaron pop in. But in the meantime, I'm sorry.
Let's see. I need Becky or Aaron to say something or all joking aside, show themselves, one of the two, so we know who we've got. No? Okay. Well, we can move on without. Okay, let's just start. We have 4 either way.
Hey, Steve, could you come here? Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. I don't have my gavel, but I'll just put it on the table.
Good enough.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all hanging in there.
There's an alternate commissioner up there, but you can't hear anything from you.
Oh, Becky, we can hear you. Oh, no, I scared her.
I see her.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Molly.
All right. Sorry about that. I just wanted to welcome everybody and say I hope everyone is hanging in there in these very difficult times. And I think we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yep. All right. Okay, everyone stand where you are and say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's do a roll call for attendance. When I call your name, please indicate if you're present. Ricky Davis.
Here.
Crystal Cadoe, is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Rohit Sharma.
Here.
Voltaire Multimeyer. Voltaire.
Unmute Voltaire.
Voltaire, I think you're present, are you?
Let me unmute it.
There he goes.
There he is. Okay.
Present.
Oh, I saw you. Are we going to seat alternate Becky Strauss?
Rohit Sharma is here, and then
he said he was present.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And then the Bill Singh.
Bill is not here, so you can seat Becky for Bill.
Okay. So Becky's present, so we'll seat Becky for Bill.
Okay.
That accounts for everyone, I believe. So we're going to seat Becky as an alternate. First, let's look at the agenda for today, and And I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I
Thank
second.
you.
I'll second. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. A second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Multmeyer. So
Voltaire.
with all that, all those who, how do we do the voting? By voice vote, or do we have to indicate through some other way?
You would just, Molly, go ahead and just call the roll
Okay,
for
Voltaire
ayes.
seconded.
okay. So if you approve the agenda for tonight's meeting, say aye when I call your name. Commissioner Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Kadoy,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharma,
Aye.
Commissioner Montemayor,
Aye.
and Commissioner Strauss. Becky? Have we lost her? I see her on my screen. And I see that she's present, but I don't hear her. And I also vote aye.
Okay.
So we
All
don't
right.
know with Becky, but essentially it passes. We also need to take a look at the meeting minutes from last meeting, which happened on June the 1st, 2020. Just a reminder, you can only vote to approve the minutes if you were actually present at the meeting. If anybody's had a chance to review those minutes, does anyone need some time, or should we go ahead and ask for a motion and a second?
Maybe that's the case. I move that the agenda or the minutes of the meeting on June 1st or last month. Oh no, that's last month.
June, it was in June.
Yeah.
June 2020.
I move to have it approved.
Looking for a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. So now I'm going to do a roll call on the vote to approve the minutes for June 1st, 2020. Commissioner Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Kadoy,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharma,
Aye.
Commissioner Montemayor,
Aye.
and Commissioner Strauss. We still don't seem to have Commissioner Strauss. I also vote to approve the minutes. Now, did everyone who voted, were you all present at the meeting last week or last?
What, this?
Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the public forum. And I invite anyone who would like to address the commission.
You can now connect the thing directly to the computer.
There we go. There we go. I think Commissioner Strauss is dealing with some technical problems. And in the meantime, I invite any public forum participation. Anything you'd like to talk about if it's not on the agenda? Is the comments form available? I take it that there are none. So let's move on to announcements.
Oh. Okay, now they can see you, but they can't hear you. It's fine. All right. I can't hear anything.
So
I can hear you. I
I
can
don't know
hear
why
you.
that is.
I'll make announcements, and then during the work
Yeah,
plan, I'll go
a few
ahead and
minutes
call
ago.
Becky and
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh my God,
But I
there's
think the
water
bulk
on
of
the
what
bottom of
staff
this.
needs to say is in the further
What is
items.
Okay,
This is,
terrific.
oh my God, there's a ton of water down here.
I think they don't realize we can hear them. Okay, so do we just no announcements? So are we going to move on to business items? Yes? Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Mike, can we
Okay.
have the work plan, please? The other one. It's the Excel sheet.
Is that with the still 2019, 2020, huh? For the work plan?
It's pretty much going to carry over because, as you know, pretty much over half of the year we spent on
Here we go.
shelter in place, and a lot of these is ongoing. There's no deadlines on a lot of them, just because we continue to add to revise some of these. And I know with our discussions with Renee, a lot of it is we're going to be working on all of them again. And we did vote on last year, if I can recall, we did try to establish some of the subcommittees. However, at one of the meetings when we tried to, we barely made quorum at the time. But so I think, to be fair, these are all pretty much going to the year 2021 work plan.
Okay.
Renee?
So do we want to go over the work plan or what should we do at this point?
I think it would be good to go over the topics and just confirm that this is what you guys want to go over. Most of it is what is in your advisory description for City Council. So, and then I think it would be wise to redesignate your subcommittees, just with because we do have a lot of new members.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, did someone say something?
No.
Okay.
I think that's a train.
Oh. Well, the train is weighing in on our work plan. It says full speed ahead.
So if you guys want to start with the first one, I can kind of give just a little bit of history on each one, and then you guys can discuss if that's helpful. We do have, yes,
I'm sorry. We
Sure.
also have the names of how we were kitted out last time.
Rosanna, do you have the old subcommittee lists?
Let me try to grab it.
Okay, while I go. So the Park Name History Project, phase 1 and 2. So that project, I believe we have started a little bit. What it is we have a number of parks in Milpitas that are named after people. And without consistency, some of the park names are the full name of the person, and some of them are just the last name of the person. So the best example I use is Cardoza Park. Most people don't know that it's Tom Cardoza Park, whereas we have a good example over at what is now Sunny Hills, Albert Augustine Jr. Park. Everyone knows it's the full name, Albert Augustine Jr. So we wanted to make consistency within the parks and make sure that we're capturing who the park is named after and just a little bit of history of who that person was. So this project itself is related to both the parks advisory area for this commission, as well as the cultural resources, which relates back to the city's history. So this subcommittee would do the research on the park names. I use the term research lightly, just a little bit of Googling. If you happen to be lucky enough to have any of the Milpitas history books, all the names are in there. I see head shaking no. I have a couple I can decontaminate and loan out to you. And so you would basically just make sure you have the full name and then just a short bio that we would start with putting online on a really cool park map that would show each park. each full name, a little bit of history, and then the amenities of the park. So that was phase one.
Wasn't there some discussion at the Sunny Hills meeting about looking into putting up some sort of plaque to describe the gentleman that the park was named after?
That would be, yes. The answer to that question is yes. And that would be specific to the new Sunny Hills Albert Augustine Jr. Park. You could see on phase two of this task, it would be research and budget development of the physical markers.
To do that with, et cetera.
Yeah. With the Albert Augustine Park, or excuse me, Sunny Hills Albert Augustine Park specifically, the direction from City Council was to work jointly with this commission and the Arts Commission on establishing some historical storyboard markers through the public art program. So
Okay.
that's to come later, but that's basically what this topic area is, phase one and phase two. So we would want a subcommittee of either 2, no more than 3, to work on this with staff.
And this is new, right? I don't think we have anybody on this committee.
You know, I'll be honest, I don't know if anyone from this specific group was on it. Maybe Rohit back in another time in another world, but I think it'd be good to pick a new 2 or 3 people that are interested in this. This is a fairly quick project. You'd be working with rec staff and then also potentially some of our IT staff and planning staff on some really cool online maps that we've got going on.
All right, looking for volunteers.
I'll
Hey,
volunteer.
Say yes, Becky.
I hear Becky sighing. Is that a yes?
Okay, I'll volunteer.
Oh, yay. All right. So I heard,
Becky needs a
yeah,
question.
yeah. Okay, so I have Ricky and Becky on history projects. Is that right?
Great.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you, guys.
All right. All right.
All right.
The next one is the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And the only thing you guys really need to do is receive updates. So there's no real air quotes work involved. City's working with the consultant. So it's part of your work plan to receive the updates from the master plan and then eventually make recommendations to City Council on the final product. So. And you'll get a update on this topic later in the meeting. So no volunteers needed for this. Was there a question or do you want me to keep going?
I would say keep going.
Okay,
Unless somebody-
annual park tour, facility tour. Once a year, this body typically would go out and visit a specific park or if there was a new facility. So you would just determine the theme for the tour. Sometimes it was based on a completed CIP project. Sometimes it was based on, the commission heard some rumblings in the community about misuse of a park area, just depended on the year. So this year's a little different since we're not allowed to gather. So really, this used to happen in June, but it could happen anytime, and y'all could pick a date, or excuse me, you could all pick a location, visit it, and then discuss it at a future meeting. So I would suggest that you leave it on here if you're open to it, and then determine the location for your site visit and go on your own if you'd like, or if you'd like to be super cautious, we could defer this and virtually go to a park somehow, or talk about a location. So I'll leave that up to you guys.
Can I ask a question? What kinds of, can you give us some example? I mean, I guess you gave us a little bit of one. Is this usually to address a problem area?
No, in the past, we've gone to places where a project was about to start, like a park renovation. Like
The skate park?
Yeah, the skate park area, when we finish the new artificial turf fields, when we've completed, pool resurfacing projects. You guys have gone out there. There was a time, I don't remember, Rohit, you were on here with me. There was something up with garbage cans and recycling bins at parks. So I think we went to a couple parks related to that. We've done some tennis court resurfacing projects at 3 of the courts in Milpitas. So there's a lot that's being done out there. So it's not complaint driven. It's just getting to know your outdoor facilities and your rec facilities if there's anything new. So
there's a lot of work going on at Cardozo Park.
At which one?
Cardozo.
Oh, Cardozo. Yeah, the sports center. Yeah, the skate park for sure.
And they put in some bathrooms and
yep,
new concession stand. I think all that stuff looks like it's not that far from opening up.
Yeah, it isn't. So, but again, I don't want to encourage you guys to go out because that's really not what we're doing right now. So perhaps
should we just hold this? Just hold
you
this
can hold it off. And like I said, that in the past, this body has gone out in June, but there's nothing that says you have to. You can go out, whenever it's safe, or we put together, maybe we visit, air quotes, the skate park and the new snack shack, but it's done in pictures. It's up to you guys.
Go look at it on Google Earth. Who knows? Anybody have any ideas or thoughts on this? Should we just hold this?
No. We just put it on hold.
I would probably say put it on hold, or
Mm-hmm.
when we have a date for the skate park, maybe do that when it opens.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right.
Okay. We'll leave it on there and we'll put deadline to be determined. How about that?
All right. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. The quarterly reports, that's something that recreation staff brings to you. You had your last one in, was it June? Where we went over the virtual community center with you. So we would highlight a different program area every quarter, or a different rec and community services topic. So that's really just on staff to bring to you to receive and make any recommendations you feel necessary.
Okay.
The next one is review the historic site list. So cultural resources is actually historic site and historic resources lists. So we do have some older historic resource lists, and we also have locations in Milpitas that are on both local and I believe we have one on the National Historic Registry. So where we're not proposing right now to take a dive into updating the complete list, I do think that this body needs to become familiar with the historic resources list because it has changed quite a bit over the past 20 years or so. So it's really to review the plan, review the list, and then start to create some goals that in the future you would make recommendations to City Council on. But then also you'll see on number 2 is to create an online component. So there's some really, for lack of a better term, cool spots in Milpitas with some really great history. And so we're now in a time of virtual everything. So create a map or a historic tour, if you will, that people can take and see all the historic architecture and history of locations in Milpitas that are significant to the Bay Area. And then also, you'll see number 3 was to work with the Historical Society on their annual tour. Every summer, usually June, they take a guided tour, or they host a guided tour that starts at the mall or the library, and they pick different historical sites around town and usually end up over at the Kelly Silva farm, farm. So it was just to basically support that tour promote it out in the community, and then attend if you can.
Well, I think we had a subcommittee on this before. I believe it was myself, Crystal, and Ricky. I
Okay.
think this is the committee. Is that match up with your recollection, Ricky and Crystal?
I know we had a historical subcommittee. I think it was this one, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah. If you're still interested in it, I definitely still want to be on this committee.
Okay. All right. Well, if you three are still game, then so are Rosanna and I, and we'll just move forward.
What do you say, Crystal and Ricky?
I'm good still being on it.
Crystal?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay.
Okay, good.
All right. For illustrious Mike, could go to page 2. I think there's a page. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. All right. Bicycle and pedestrian trails. So this was to take care and continue to draw attention to the great trails, most of them related to creeks, Darn Milpitas. So you would be receiving a presentation on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Trails Master Plan, which is currently in process. Review and host a mini family bike day event, and review any city trail system updates that might come the city's way. You're the advisory body to the council on those topics. So really the work here is on the family bike day events. Our department likes to call it a mini event. Crystal's done it for a number of years with her previous commission. We pick a trail, pick a bike route, do a little bit of advertising, and encourage families to come out and ride the trail as far as they want to and come back. Provide a little bit of hydration, maybe some snacks, any kind of trail maps that we might have available. It's just sort of a fun day to bring awareness to the city's trails.
So kind of a mini Via Calle that San Jose does?
Kinda. No street closing though, because they use the but I think the last one we did, Crystal, remind me if I'm wrong, but it was over by Dixon Landing Park. I think that's Coyote Creek Trails. Was that right? Yeah. So yeah. And so they started off, the head of the trail, and then you could ride the thing all the way to almost to downtown San Jose and back if you wanted to. But really, parents and kids or just anybody, hopped on their bikes and rode the trail as far as they could, and then, rode back. So it's just kind of a fun day or a fun morning rather, to get together.
Okay, so are you looking for somebody to volunteer for that now? Or do we just wait until approaches?
I think that obviously this summer that's not going to happen, but it's a great time for this group to discuss, perhaps a subcommittee on how to promote the use of bicycle and pedestrian trails during this time. So bicycle and pedestrian activities are considered solo and passive recreational activities and are allowed under the shelter-in-place orders. So perhaps we shift focus or add focus to this group. Maybe we put a number, maybe we push 2 down so it's 3 and then a 4, and then number 2 is promoting bikes and trail access during place. So you're helping to promote and discuss how to promote the use of the trails. Staying active, getting your heart rate up, getting some vitamin D, breathing actual oxygen that's not recycled in your house. It's very good for both your physical and your emotional well-being. So perhaps that's something this group would like to work on.
Well, do we have any volunteers?
I will.
Yeah, I can
Voltaire.
work on it too.
Oh. Crystal will. And I will support, or I'll be in the committee. So
Okay. So I have Crystal and Voltaire.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then we're
Terrific.
gonna bump down 2 and 3, and then we're gonna add a new 2 that is promotion of
The bicycle.
bicycle and trail activities.
And awareness. It'd be great just
Yeah.
to make sure people know where they can ride safely and just increase the awareness of those things.
Then we have ongoing review, and then we have one new thing that we do need to add. So ongoing review, these are topics that are really just inherent to what your body reviews and advises the city council. So you've got your private development projects, including open space. So, or public for that matter. The city is doing a skate park. That's an example of a public project. A private development project would be an example of a developer coming in, creating a new community. And, their requirement is to provide park space or open space as part of that development. And then number 2 is make recommendation on the annual CIP, park improvement projects and priorities. As a reminder, CIP is the capital improvement program, and that's where the city identifies any existing or new infrastructure needs and projects. So you guys typically see that on an annual basis and make recommendations on the projects and the priorities that the city manages and implements those projects. The one thing we do need to add is sister cities. So we talked about the topic that's been added to your advisory area, and then the world imploded, and so we want to get back to it. And I think there's an opportunity for some really cool programs and outreach related to sister cities. So as a reminder, the city proposal that went to city council was for the city, rather than taking a leadership role in every sister city's relationship, was to take a supportive role in sister city relationships, because there are several that exist between schools and their sister schools in other countries. A few that are direct friendship cities, and any that might exist between nonprofits. And so right now we do need a subcommittee to work on furthering and teasing out the program proposal that we'd made to this commission and city council earlier or late last year, 2019, actually, I think it was. And then start working with schools and nonprofits on what their relationships are and how we can help support and promote those in the community. So this is an opportunity to work on a new approach to an older program in Milpitas. I also think it's an opportunity to work, especially with the schools and potentially students, on how to connect right now. You often hear people say, we're a community, even though we're all at home. And this is a good example of that. Maybe we're a global community at home, and how can we connect people as they're going through what some call, the toughest time of their lives. So I think we should have at least 3 people on this subcommittee and to help develop and work on this. You'll be working heavily with recreation staff, specifically Rosanna and her a couple of her coordinators. So working with Rosanna is super fun. So
It does seem like a party.
Whenever we're around, it kind of is, but I think this is a really, really great opportunity to create something meaningful and fun in this community, and really help bolster and support a lot of the cultures that are already in our community, and just kind of show that support for our residents. So I think it's exciting. So I think there could be three lucky people in this group working on that with us.
I would volunteer to be on the subcommittee.
Sorry, was that Rohit?
No, it was Rick, David.
Right.
Volunteer also.
Okay.
I'll volunteer for the subcommittee also with Ricky. Yeah. Voltaire, Ricky. I don't know who else.
You
I'll
may
volunteer.
more?
I'm sorry, did I miss somebody?
Crystal.
Yeah, I'll volunteer.
Okay. All right. Okay, we've got our 3. All right.
Can you say again the scoop to do? What to do again? One more time, just very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah, for the volunteers. What
So-
do we do?
For sister cities?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That one. Okay.
Yeah, that was for sister
Who's
cities.
ever? Yeah. I volunteered. I know. I heard that Sister City.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can recreate the magic of what I just said earlier, but
Okay.
it'll be a good time creating a new program for sister cities relationships and supporting cultural communities in Milpitas. I think that's
Okay.
what you're going to be working on with staff. Okay. Is there anything else that this body would want to add to the work plan? Anything's up for discussion? Just a reminder, this does go to city council and they approve your work plan. And then once they bless it, then we get started. Is there anything else you think we've missed?
The only thing that occurs to me is I wonder whether there's anything we could do that's COVID specific
Hmm.
in the sense of, you know, what
That's a great point. Yeah.
I feel like, I hate to say this and I don't want to curse it, but this might be going on a while.
Yeah, it could. Would
And
you, well, let's talk about that. Do you want to address, programs and services in support of the community as they go through COVID, or what's kind of your thought process?
Wait, I don't know whether we could do things on, well, I guess what made me think about is what you were saying earlier about how bicycling is a permitted activity that is, kind of a good way to get out safely. And there are safe ways to use the parks as long as you're not gathering. And I live right across the street from Cardozo, so there's a nightly volleyball game that goes on over there that enrages me. Yes.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
I know it's not allowed. You know what I mean? Just promoting safe and healthy use of the park. And you can see everyone else who are trying to use it safely is mad at this group of guys who play volleyball without masks on and, whatever.
Yeah.
But it does seem like we can't do what we usually do in our parks, but there's still recreational opportunities that are available. And we want to think of how we can promote healthy and safe use of the parks and recreational opportunities that are available.
Well, you guys could set sort of a short-term a goal for yourselves about, along with bicycle and pedestrian trails, just the promotion of parks, amenities, and recreation programs during COVID. I think that's a great goal. And then, as time goes on, if there's other, I don't want to jinx it, but when there's other crises or the things going on in the world that challenge the community, how can we promote healthy living, both physical and mental, in the community with our amenities and programs and services? I think that's a great goal that's sustainable through pandemic, through, anything really. I think it's a good goal.
Is there anything we can do as a committee to help with the food distributions and that side of what's been going on?
I think as commissioners and ambassadors, out in the community, helping to spread the information and the good work and the volunteerism that's going on right now is great. I think even having a group to bounce things off of is also good. keeping you informed so that you can then keep others informed, right? You're representing the voices of the community to the council. So however you guys want to try to make additional impacts, you know, we can put that together and take it to council for you. I mean, I don't know how many of you are on social media or if you're in other organizations or businesses in Milpitas, you can help promote these things. It's always great. Yeah, exactly. It's always great when we have a perspective of a resident that's not staff. A lot of us grew up here, we live here, but we work here. So our perspective is a little bit different. So it's always nice to work with people like you guys and hear your perspective on things. It's important.
Yeah, food distribution is still on. I think there's some schedule again. Some like we thought is finished last session, but still continued the food distribution.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're moving. We're going to continue it through the end of this school year. Or no, I'm sorry, the end of the calendar year.
That's good.
So however you guys want to, I mean, we can put on there, you know, parks, recreation, and community services, response to COVID-19, and recreation and community services is oversees care and shelter, and part of that is feeding. Rosanna has a presentation for you guys later on in the meeting on all the things that we have been doing. So maybe part of that discussion will help you guys maybe populate this if you want.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Okay. All right.
By the way, our group are the eyes, or our eyes, we're the eyes in the parks. Whatever is not done right in the parks, we could say something, right? Or yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're the park and recreation group.
Yeah. I love hearing what's going on. I need people out there. Rosanna and I get texts every weekend about stuff that should or shouldn't be happening out in the community, you know, out there. And
Like the volleyball game that goes on every night.
Yeah. So, you know, and we really appreciate that. I just want to be, you know, all kidding aside, we really do appreciate that, you know, the community, we're there to take care of each other and make sure that we're staying safe, especially right now. So if you see something that doesn't look quite right, you know, you can always call us, text us, email us, what have you, you know, and we'll respond. Or if something is really wrong with something's going on, then we can instruct you to reach out to PD or we do it. So, so yes, Walter, if you see something out there, then, you know.
Well, at least forever the term, the liability, as long as we're out, we'll not be too strict because we don't have beaches in Milpitas. I mean, we have the stories, but we don't have beaches to go. So in other words, people are bored at home, so they want to use the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they can, and I think to Chairperson Molly's point is there's ways to use it safely. There are some limitations, but you know, making sure that we're campaigning and getting the info out on how to do it the right way so that everyone has fun, but everyone stays far away from each other and safe. So.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you guys want to make a motion to recommend the 2021 work plan? And then as we get further in into the presentation that Rosanna is going to give you, if you want to add something additional, you could make you could either come back to the item at the next meeting. We're going to meet again in 30 days, or someone can try a motion to add it.
I will recommend this Voltaire. Yeah. Motion, yeah.
Do we have a motion then to
2021 reflected from 2019 2020 is like we talk about in a way already some of the 2020s just extended to 2021, right?
No, it's not extending it. We've added a few things. So
Okay.
we need a motion to approve the discussed 2021 PRCRC work plan.
Anyone like to make that motion?
I'll
I'll make
second.
the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll
I'll
second it.
Okay, a roll call on the vote. Please indicate aye or nay if you want to vote with the motion. Commissioner Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Kadoy,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharma,
Aye.
Commissioner Montemayor,
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss,
Aye.
and I also vote aye. So it's
Okay.
unanimous. We accept this, subject to, if someone wants, not subject to, but if somebody does want to add something to it later, we're free to do that. Okay, item.
Chair Karen, can you clarify who seconded the motion? Just because I think 3 people responded, but I didn't hear it. Can you identify who was first?
I just did the deliberation or clarification, so I think it wasn't me to those.
Becky then? Okay, Becky.
Yeah, I heard Becky first.
Thank you.
Altair motion, second Becky.
Okay.
All right, are we ready for the next one? So I
We are.
don't have any fancy slides for you, but I'm just going to go over a couple of projects that the
Hello.
staff is working on that are of interest. So number 1, we talked about it earlier, the skate park and the sports center snack shack. So that project's been, gosh, Rosanna, we started that about 9 months ago or so, right?
Seems longer
So
than that.
we are wrapping up. Yeah, they went pretty fast. So we're wrapping that up. We do anticipate the skate park being ready to open at the end of the summer, potentially early September. Skate parks are allowed to be open under the shelter-in-place order. So we're looking to what the best opening date for that facility will be, and then adding some extra signage regarding appropriate social distancing and staying safe during COVID. So there'll be more to come out in the public on that. The snack shack, and then an additional bathroom will open as well, but probably more for restroom use. Youth sports really aren't safe right now, and a lot of the youth sport groups have canceled their seasons. So we anticipate those buildings opening up shortly thereafter this year as well. Part of the project, we actually built storage units for some of our constant youth sports groups, so they will be able to move items into their storage containers on site, and then it'll be ready for them whenever youth sports are able to safely re-engage. So that's the skate park. Then the next big project is Creighton Park. That park is over off of, let's see, South Park, Victoria, and Acadia. And that park was receiving a nice little facelift. It got a new play structure, updated irrigation, ADA pathways. This was one of our parks that did not have a restroom, so they did receive a single stall restroom facility. And it turned some dead space into a dog play area and addition of some park horse equipment, which is the exercise equipment that you see in the parks. So that is ending. Well, the project itself will also be ready towards the end of the summer, as long as things stay on target. Alviso Adobe Park, which is off Evans, Piedmont, and Alviso Adobe Court. We are in, as a reminder, phase 5 of a five-phase project. The last phase being the restoration of the inside of the adobe so that the public can go inside and take part in a guided tour. So the restoration on the inside included things like preserving the many layers and many types of wallpaper that are in there, which are very cool. It is really cool. I was in there 2 weeks ago. You can see still the original adobe clay. You can see on one of the walls in the bathrooms where some of the children that used to live there did their math homework directly on the wall. It's still there. Their times tables and addition tables. Just the closet space, the fireplace, some of the original light fixtures are there. A space in one of the walls that nobody knows really used for, which will be a very cool discussion topic during the tour. And the last addition to the house, which was a 1920s kitchen, restoring that with the help of actually one of the family members that used to live there that used to be a city employee, helped out quite a bit with the layout of that. So that is primarily done on the inside. So what's next is putting in the technology that we're going to be using for the inside of the tours. And so the theme of the project is if these walls could talk. And so it's a combination of a guided tour, but also these very cool projections of images and sound bites and videos about what it was like to live, when that spot was a ranch and a farm. So I think we are looking towards, a late next year opening possibly. Again, it'll be guided tours only. It's not like we're just going to leave the house open on the weekends. You'll have to either catch a day where we're going to have it open and we're doing rotating tours. We also anticipate this will be a great spot for elementary school or just any school field trips. The park is beautiful. There's flowering and fruited apricot trees everywhere. So it's a beautiful spot. And I actually went to this place in the 90s on one of those June PRCRC tours when the city got ownership back of it, and it looks a lot different. Let me tell you, it looks beautiful. It's great as a resident and a longtime staff person to see just sort of the transformation of this beautiful house. And the consultant groups that are working on it, who are, historical specialists, say it's the best example of the Monterey Adobe classic house style in the Bay Area. And so it's a treasure that we want to make sure we take care of. So when that's ready to go, and I hope it will be, and when it is, that we're all able to gather and we can go see it together and take a tour.
Oh, nice.
It'll be a while, but there are a lot of technology needs to go in. But and so you guys know too, we are Tegan McLean, our community engagement and inclusion administrator. She's been also with myself working with the Milpitas Historical Society on the history that's being told, so that we make sure we're getting input from our resident historians. So very exciting project. Lastly, McCandless Park, which is the new park over on McCandless Drive, over off Montague. That is the site of our future all-inclusive playground. It's about a 4-acre park that butts right up next to the new Mabel Mattis Elementary School. That project is moving forward. There's a lot of components to it, one of which is a new well for the city, which was a mandated water source. It's going along. All of these projects were affected, their timelines, by COVID, because we weren't all able to operate and have construction sites during this time. So this is one of those sites, but we are moving forward with the well, which was part one. We had to do that first because part of digging the well and getting that infrastructure meant it could flood. So we didn't want to build this beautiful park and then flood it and then have to do it again. So the wells going in, it's been a very successful project led by our engineering department. And so we are moving forward with McDonalds Park. It'll be potentially a little bit later than expected, but we are still dedicated to the project. We still have the grant of $780,000 to do this project through the county. So there'll be more updates soon, but we are still working on that diligently.
I'm sorry, I missed where that's located.
It's on McCandless and Montague. So if you're going down Montague, I guess, what is that? West, there's that Carl's Jr. on the right-hand side.
Okay.
I'm talking about. Make a right, and then there used to be nothing there, and now there's a school, and then you'll see 4-acre parcel, and that's the future park. And you'll see some of the well infrastructure over there now. There's one of the creeks cuts through it. We're building a pedestrian bridge so that residents across the creeks can actually cross the bridge and walk to school. There's pathways plans connecting those creeks and the park to the school itself to promote, walking to school instead of driving. The park itself will have a dog park, community garden, large field for a lit field for soccer and youth sports, or really just kind of any open space field sport. Couple playgrounds, picnic area, and the playgrounds are all inclusive. So that means persons with disabilities or different abilities, whether it be sensory or tactile, emotional, social, mental, whatever, they will be able to go and lead and play and participate and feel safe. So we're really excited about it. And that's it for my report. We're going to leave this item as a reoccurring item. So as projects get completed or new ones are added or there's updates, we can just go over those with you guys and you can feel informed. And then if you hear out in the community, someone has a question about something, then hey, you're able to help answer. That's it for me. And I think Rosanna is going to take us home with the last item.
Thank you. Okay, next.
Thank you, Renee.
Thanks.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to provide you with an update on some of our services and programs for the last couple of months. Next slide, please. So as you can tell, our senior center is open for to-go lunches. Our senior nutrition lunch program remains closed for programming during this time. However, we do offer to-go lunches, which continue to serve our seniors in the community. And they are hot items as well as cold and I believe salads. It's prepared for them and they pick those up. So a couple of weeks ago, we had approximately 464 to-go meals bagged and sorted and prepared by staff, which we are averaging about 92 meals a day. So while we started the shelter in place from March, our program has already registered an additional 117 seniors for the program, the lunch program. Yeah. So I believe, Renee, if I'm not, correct me if I'm not, I think Wednesday might be our 100th day.
Yeah, so Wednesday is our 100th day of serving to-go lunches during COVID. When we first started serving under the pandemic, we had maybe 45 people average. People were nervous. They didn't know what resources were available. And so now we're serving close to 100 average of 100 meals every day. And we have 117 new seniors just in the last month alone. So more people are hearing about the program. They understand that we've got all the social distancing protocols in place. It's, primarily contactless. Everyone's PPE'd up, very safe operation, and we've served since March thousands of meals at this point. And we also had, I don't know if you talk about Meals on Wheels later, but
I think I took that out.
Yeah, we just as a service to the Milpitas residents, we called every single senior center member that we have and let them know about the Meals on Wheels program, so that if they were homebound or were just scared to come out, they could get signed up to receive the meals directly to their house. So when we started the phone calls, Milpitas only had 21 people receiving service, and by the time we stopped, they had over 130. So and growing, I think. So it was it was a bit of an undertaking, but we want to make sure that our seniors are fed and they have at least one hot meal a day.
Very nice.
And then also we are continuing the Friendly Visitors program, which our senior center staff have called approximately once a week. They do check-ins with our senior center members to connect with them remotely over the phone in areas such as case management, senior adult legal assistance, AARP tax assistance, and as of May 26th, we had 23 participants that have signed up to receive these weekly calls from staff. Additionally, the Institute on Aging offers a 24-hour toll-free friendship line for older adults who may feel isolated, lonely, anxious, depressed, or even suicidal. So we do have a lot of resources available for our seniors, including the available, they can call the 800 number anytime. Next, please. From seniors, we go to youth summer day camp. Yes, it might be strange that none of our facilities are open except for the to-go lunches at the senior center. However, we did manage to follow the social distance, the protocols, the health orders, and we managed to we're offering 2 youth summer day camps, of which were 2 sessions of 3 weeks. So the first week we had participants, of course, and staff alike. It was a learning experience to be out there, learning how to keep your masks on, learning how to wash your hands every time you went to the restroom. You couldn't hug your buddy or you give high fives to your favorite leader. It was a learning experience, but the kids were very resilient. They kept their masks on. Through it all, the first session, which was through June 29th through July 17th, that we had 40 campers and 6 counselor and training participants. And so by the time the second session came along, which was, we will be ending this Friday, was started July 20th to August 7th. We had 38 campers and CITs registered. A lot of the kids came back with maybe less than a dozen new campers. They seem to have enjoyed it. No big issues. They even, with being outdoors all day, maybe having allergies, that can be challenging, but our campers didn't miss a beat. They had a lot of fun doing different activities. Some of them will be, they made Aboriginal boomerangs, bird kites. They had a lot of water play, especially during the warmer days. They even had a paper airplane challenge, scavenger hunt. They had a virtual field trip to the Monterey Bay Aquarium and a handful of movie days, one of which was Finding Nemo. Next slide, please.
And if nothing else, I'm sure all the parents of those children who are working from home were greatly appreciative.
Yes, they
I'm
were.
sure.
I would have to say, and I forgot to mention the drop off and pickup process went very smoothly. The parents stayed in their car. We asked the questions at the driver's side. Once the kids did their, self check and questions answered, we let them out of the vehicle. So it was pretty seamless. Next slide, please, Mike. Okay. And of course, our special events, it was very trying for all of us. As you know, many of you have gone to our biggest event of the year, the July 4th. However, we managed to do several. I'm going to highlight the Memorial Day ceremony for you. It was held virtually on May 25th with over 400 viewers who watched the mayor provide his speech. We also had don't say rainbow singers. Renee, I forgot their name. Children's Performing Arts singer.
Yeah, our community theater, children's community theater participants.
Yes, she sang the national anthem, and her name is Kiara Biala. We also had a keynote address read by Michael Thompson, and the remembrance chair was presented by Liliana Ramos. Now, our virtual 4th of July events, activities, it was the Spirit of Milpitas, Spirit of America was a huge success. Together with community groups, we were able to host 3 successful drives. The first one was a food drive benefiting the Milpitas Food Pantry. It was hosted by an all-girl Boy Scouts of America troop, number 2163. They collected 8 barrels of food. The second one was a blood drive hosted by the Executive Lions Club, and they had 31 blood donors stop by. And the final one, it's still currently taking place until September 9th, is the annual back to school drive benefiting the Families Giving Tree. So far, the troop has raised over $780 towards school supplies. And the information here, you can donate if you would like to. As even though kids are doing virtual learning, they still need their school supplies. So next, please. And some of the community service, I'm going to highlight a couple for you. Milpitas Hope. It's the city's suicide prevention task force, which kicks off its 2021 efforts with a virtual meeting in August. And I'm sorry, I don't have the date for you, but I'm sure it's already scheduled. The task force is seeking new members, specifically Milpitas residents who have a special interest in helping deliver its suicide prevention message to target groups, including teens, the elderly, people who identify as LGBTQ, and ethnic population. For more information, we can give Tegan McLean, our inclusion administrator, a call or email her. Okay. And then we also have the Milpitas Assistance Program. I think is very, very popular this year. Again, who's eligible? Milpitas residents who participate in certain qualifying assistance programs, residents who are at or below the latest HUD low income limit for this area, and residents who are experiencing a temporary financial hardship. Customers who participate in qualifying assistance programs or youth in the foster care or juvenile dependency system are tier 1. Others who are at or below HUD low income limits for the Santa Clara County, I don't have the chart with you, are tier 2. And individuals and families experiencing temporary financial hardship due to job loss, loss of primary wage earners, serious illness, or government shutdown are tier 3. Renee, did you have anything to add to that?
Did I miss the contact information for business assistance on the slide? Was it on the?
I don't have that one.
Okay.
No, it's not on here, Rohit, but I can email you the business assistance program that's in development right now.
Nice. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's not floated yet. I saw one on City of Santa Clara's website.
Yeah, the cities we're working on one too. So I'll get you in touch this evening or tomorrow with the staff that are working on that. I think they're close to being ready with that.
Great. Sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll go to the email. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I think just to add, for 4th of July, we did do a, trying to do the community give back and I think it was spirit of giving was the theme for the drives that we did. But we also, I don't know if you guys noticed City Hall being lit up as part of 4th of July. That was absolutely beautiful. We also, we had a contractor do that, but our, myself and our lighting design staff went and did lit up City Hall for all the graduating classes in June, just so they felt special with their school colors. We did Cow Hills, Milpitas High, and then also the Milpitas Adult Ed. We had a number of adults who graduated and got their diplomas this year. So we celebrated all three. We had crafts and decorating ideas, and we did virtual fireworks. We featured links to shows. I think Macy's did a huge fireworks display. So we had links to that for people to participate. We had a DJ record a cool playlist. So if you're out celebrating with your family in your backyard, you could turn on some tunes or whatever. I think we had about an hour's worth of music or so. We really tried to create the fun and community that we get at 4th of July every year.
Wow, how nice.
In your backyard, if all possible. I mean, you can't beat the energy of 10,000 people in a sports stadium, but we sure did try. And we got a lot of people some blood and backpacks and food, and it's really just about maintaining that community right now. And so that's what we really wanted to achieve with a lot of our events. I did want to say too, with the Memorial Day, typically we get about 200 people or so at the event, and so the virtual event doubled views. So that was great as well. Great job, from our Veterans Commission, the chair at the time, Ed, and all the commissioners really contributed to that. We put that together rather quickly, and so we didn't have as much participation from them just because we were crunch time, but we're looking at Veterans Day and how we can successfully hold something virtual as well. And with the other things with Hope, people are out there and some people are having a harder time than others, and we're really just making it a goal right now to make sure that people have access to services and people and help when they need it and wherever they need it. And that's what we're doing with Hope and with the assistance program. So we're really trying to focus. Yes, we're fun, but we're also, here for our residents and want to make sure they feel taken care of. So just wanted to highlight some of those efforts with you guys today. A number of you have been volunteering at the food distribution site. We've been doing that every other Saturday. We easily, with Second Harvest Food Bank, are giving out between 600 and 700 meal kits to houses or households. And our rate of residents attending and receiving food is over 80%, which is huge. So there's a lot of good going on out in our community right now. And we wanted to sprinkle that with you guys so you could hear and know about it and feel good about it.
Yeah.
Are you saying that 80% of the population in Milpitas is going to the food?
No. So sorry, I said that the wrong way then. So out of the 700 households that are showing up each weekend food distribution drive, so the Second Harvest, 80% of those that are coming to Milpitas' site are actually Milpitas residents. So, I mean, we've had people as far as, Oakland and, Watsonville come through to get food, because it is open to anyone and everyone. But to see that 80% of people coming and utilizing those resources are residents is,
Well, that's a relief.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you don't want to put something out there and then, we got 5% Milpitas residents, and then, the rest of the, if we're going to put that effort out there, we want it for whoever needs it. But when it's the majority of it is your community, it makes you feel real good. So.
Well, no, I was worried that 80% of the people who live in Milpitas need help. That would be very sad.
I mean, I think everyone needs something right now. So, we're trying our best to be there. So, and I don't know, is there another slide, Rosanna?
I think the final slide.
Okay.
That's it.
So yeah, this was you guys last year with your superhero capes on at your last commissioner's lunch. Someday we'll be back there. But
Yes, we will.
yes, someday. But so we just kind of wanted to highlight, what, you got a nice look at the virtual community center. Tegan went over that with you guys at the last meeting. But just, as a report on the department and what we've been doing, during this break. We are about community, and so since the buildings aren't open, what are we doing? Well, here's what's going on. The programs and services are alive and being utilized, and are, we hope, a great benefit to residents. So if there's any questions or ideas or thoughts you want to share with Rosanna and I, we're open to hearing anything. And
well, thank you. You guys clearly have been working very hard, and
Doing a
it's great to
beautiful
hear that
job.
all the good work is being done out in our community. So thank you.
Yeah, I wish I participated for all those events, but I only mainly I had the food distribution. But I'm looking forward to more of this. Even it's still COVID-19 in the next year, in the coming season. Yeah. I love fun. I want people to enjoy. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, what's next?
I'll just close the item out. If you guys are out and about, or hear something or see something cool. I think I said it last time. When you see a need, or you're hearing there's something going on in the community that maybe we can help with, don't ever hesitate to reach out to Rosanna or myself, or if you're in regular contact with another of my staff members, just let us know. We're pretty good at getting creative and responding, even when it's not ours. We did a welfare check for somebody for the county the other day, just because the person didn't know who to call. They called us, and we took care of it. So if something comes up, let us know. We're here to help.
Okay, great.
I think next on the list was the council liaison reports. Councilmember Pham's not here. As far as staff report, I think we gave you enough reports for one night, so I think you're covered. And I think the last thing was if there's any future agenda items that you want us to add separate from the work plan. If not, we'll get started with some subcommittees this month.
Okay.
So that come September, we have, some updates for the group.
Okay.
So if there's no additional items, what's
I will
next,
say,
Rosanna? Go ahead.
Then I am having surgery next week that's going to have me out of commission for 4 to 6 weeks. I think I should still be able to participate in the next meeting because it's going to be remotely. It's going to be remote. But I'm not going to get any subcommittee work done.
Okay.
Either Ricky and Crystal want to soldier on without me, but I'm going to be out of pocket for the next month. I'll still be in communication and all that. Like I said, I'll be able to participate at the next meeting that we have.
Okay. We could focus on a couple other things and then update you, and hope everything goes well. And
me too.
Yeah, rest and recover.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything left on the agenda for us?
Yeah.
I think our
Not on the
upcoming,
agenda. It's a side question. Is city doing anything to? I mean, so I don't even know the guidelines from the city. I know the one from the county where we are supposed to wear masks when we go.
Yep.
So is it left on the residents, or is there enforcement that city is planning or hoping or?
Yeah, so the city came out with, I believe it was 6 and over needed to wear a mask when they went out. And then the state updated and put out an order that anyone 2 and over needed to be wearing a mask when they went out. So the state
I see. Override.
supersedes the city one. As far as enforcement, I think right now the police department is taking a position of education. I think depending on how the community responds, would determine if that changed or not. So I think people should follow the state order, and stay safe. Yeah, but I don't know. I couldn't speak for the police department to say if they were going to ticket anyone. I think right now they're trying to really educate people.
On the IT side is like city has cameras. I mean, few cameras in the city of Milpitas that the IT department owns.
Yeah, but I don't think they use them for surveillance like that. No.
That would be creepy.
Yeah, I don't think they're aimed that way.
Where I was going with that is this. So there is this AI technology that does not give out any information. It would just tell you, hey, my feed is looking at two people or 5 people that are close together, not wearing masks in that area.
Yeah.
So it's not for any creepy reasons, but it's just for a city to make informed decisions, like how many areas, what, where, and at what times are people gathering, so they can be educated more effectively. So that kind of decision making.
Okay. You know what? I can pass that on to both PD and our IT department, and then if they have questions, I'll let them know. They can just reach out to you directly.
Yeah.
I do know that sort of like Chair Current brought up, the elusive volleyball, nightly players without masks on, where you're not allowed to play games in as far as the order. Right. If you see something, do call PD 586-2420 or 911, and you just identify the park or the area, and just say you're concerned there's people that are not wearing masks and adhering to the the shelter in place order and social distancing order, and they're really good at sending people out to help respond.
That likely didn't come out correctly. So I heard city of Phoenix in Arizona, in Tucson, and Austin. So what these cities are doing, and actually at least one city is a smart city where they have a lot of cameras around. So like you said, the PD is sort of taking the education side, and they need to know where to focus, which area, right? That information kind of comes out from those cameras, where it knows that most of the time or certain times during the day there are people. So
okay,
the education and other kind of decision making.
Got it. Okay. All right.
I think that was it.
All right, are we ready to adjourn?
I think if you guys are ready.
Yes.
And I'll follow up with a few of you on some items for later tonight or tomorrow.
Thank you, Renee.
I was gonna
mention
very quickly.
Bye.
Okay.
Goodbye. Thank you.
We are hereby.
Bye. Stay safe and healthy.
Bye now.
Yes, you too.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody.